Hey, this is Justin. We are live. This is Sunday morning, heading off to a jiu-jitsu class right now. I'm actually running a little bit late. I'll show up right at time, but won't have as much time to stretch as I'd like before we started. But I've been reading this morning or listening to on Spotify, which is great. If you have Spotify Premium, you can get free audio books that are included with it there, even some of the newer books. Scott Galloway's new book, The Algebra of Wealth, talks about what some of the principles are for wealth. So I started listening to the book, and I love Scott Galloway's work. When we drive to Pennsylvania, I listen to his podcast with Kara Swisher, Pivot, all the time. But this morning, I was like, you know what? I'm a little bit like too like on the go and want to have this be a casual day. So I went to ChatGPT, which is brilliant. I've got ChatGPT Pro, and it's like, all right, just give me the the summary of the book, The Algebra of Wealth. Right? I listened to it. I got a little bit of start. Arguably, I paid for it, but it's part of the subscription, so I'm guessing it's not full. You know what I'm saying? They're not getting the full benefit of that. As if I bought the book separately, got the summary, and then asked I'm doing an Atomic Habits workshop this week, so I asked the question, um, the 100 habits that you could take from this book? And then I did a Pareto down to, all right, what are the 20 habits that can make the most, the most impact of that? And then I went down to, from the book, the one thing. What's the one thing that I could do? And what's the one thing I can do to make the biggest amount of difference? And really, the answer that it came to from that is live below your means. Now, on a Sunday morning when I'm heading off to jiu-jitsu, there's not like massive action that I could take towards living below means, but just like download an app, track all your expenses, all that. So started putting that into sort of a workflow. But there's one interesting thing, which in live below the means, one of the things I paid attention to is frugal friends, like have friends that are living below their means. So I created this live post, this morning for anybody who sees it, to track those people who are either actively practicing and living below their means, you can call actively practicing whatever you want, or aspire to be one of those people who are starting to live below their means. So I'm going to talk about it for a little bit here to keep this thing live. But here's what's most exciting for me, inside of the processing of these, right? So I listened to the book and I was like, all right, I was like, and I'll finish the book at some point in time, but I was like, let me just start taking some of the teaching of these books and start putting into action. And that's what we did, right? Just get the summary and what are some of the key actions that go along with it. And what I love Scott Galloway's stuff because it's always practical, practical advice, but it hits me at a time when I was like, I don't have to be feeling great to listen to the stuff. And I listened to a book yesterday, which was amazing, which started off with a father, having a great teaching experience with his son. And I'm at a place right now where it's just sometimes I don't feel like I'm the greatest, the greatest father all the time. And it's hard to listen to those perfect, I know what to do in those moments. And so what I like about Galloway stuff is he was like, all right, these aren't his words, but it was just like, I've got flaws. I'm a flawed human being. I'll start showing you some of these flaws, but here's stuff that's sort of undeniable based on the work that I've actually done. So I can listen to his stuff a lot more when I'm not feeling as great about I can always listen to his stuff, but it hits better in times when I'm not necessarily feeling as great about things that I'm doing and working on. And as a result, wind up feeling better, right? Because we're all imperfect human beings kind of working in an imperfect, way. So what else do I want to say about that? I think that's it. Now, as far as the processing goes, this one is for me in the future. Yeah. So what do we do? Listen to, had some resonance with a message. I didn't know the book was coming out, but I saw a clip on YouTube which said, hey, talking about some of the wealth that resonated. I shared it shared the book with some of my friends. Not the book, I shared the clip with some of my friends, went and looked for the book, looked for it on Spotify immediately to see if I can listen to it as part of my Spotify Pro subscription. or whatever it's called, premium subscription. Was able to do that. Started the book. I was like, I don't know. I'll listen to it for a period of time. I don't know necessarily that I want to spend 8 hours going through it. So that's when we went to ChatGPT. It was like, hey, let's get so got the spirit and the essence of the book, paid for it, had some integrity, right? Like had some integrity in paying for it. It's not something that I, just kind of ripped the teachings off of YouTube, went to ChatGPT and went and just said, hey, create a summary, but let's more importantly, what are the actions? And I go for 100 actions because I have a thing about completeness. I want to get it all. I want to make sure it was all considered. So have an exhaustive list of data, and 100, it could have been 1,000. It doesn't matter what the difference is, but at least having the experience of an exhaustive list of data, and then started boiling it down into 20, right? You know what I'm saying? And then boiling it down into one thing, and then actually asked it to create something, a list of bullet points I could take into my workflowy to start to make it work. So it's I didn't really kind of know. So I had a whole bunch of big ideas about the Frugal Friends piece of it, and starting to attract frugal friends. And I was like, oh, I'm going to talk to this person and talk to this person and talk to this person. I was like, you know what? Let me just put a live out there and see who responds to it. And then also the thing I was thinking about as far as the lives goes, starting to do these as scheduled events where people can actually sign up for them. Even if they are things that are scheduled 15 minutes in advance, you can see who's reacting, who's interacting with the messages on those particular lives, and then allow those people to come on for a follow-up. Because the two experiences that I want to create with these, that are the two models I think we want to replicate with these lives, are the Sparks and Honey daily cultural briefing, which is like an internal conversation, which is what this is really. This is a conversation that would be going on inside of my head that's getting broadcast out into the world. And then also what Gary Vee's doing right now with his on Twitch, with just live streaming from his office periods, all the time, and then stepping away and actually doing his work. So that over the shoulder type of view, of what's actually happening, because we want to know what's happening in reality, not the what is the experience and what is, how is it actually working? How close can we get to the real-time experience of what it looks like in the day from the people that we are listening from, not the highly distilled version of what's going on. And if you look at it, I like books, because books had to be something that somebody really paid attention to and had some expertise around and did some work, so get some high quality information. But the problem of the book is even though the Gallery's book came out a couple of days ago, it's not representative of his current work, right? Because that it had to take a while from the initial creation of the content to actually start getting into our hands, and that might actually be a feature as opposed to a problem. But imagine what it is hey, this is what's happening with the book. Now we've got feedback from book, and here's the stuff that's happening actually in reality out in the world. So what you're getting here, for better or worse, is what I'm thinking about live, in the moment right now, as a brain dump, and then also giving people the opportunity to start to interact with it later on, and later on and during the session. And then eventually this will start turning into usable pieces of information, probably entertaining content, because I can't imagine that this can be that entertaining for anybody to listen to in the moment, unless you've got one of those or I think it's a short group of people that just value the word vomits and the word dumps and getting ideas out and doing quick experimentation on stuff, so we get it out of our head as quickly as possible. So I'm about a minute and a half away from getting to the gym, and so thanks a lot for everybody for listening to this live. Have an amazing Sunday, and we'll see you on the other side.